Greetings, everyone. This is Judge coming to you once again with another Vedic perspective. Today, we're going to be talking about Vrishchika Rasi, or many of you know as the Scorpio sign. As usual in this Understanding the Rasi Zodiac series, I uniquely cover every placement of that particular Rasi sign, not the actual ascendant chart of that sign. So as I've always done, I mentioned everybody owns an aspect of that same Rasi. So with the Vrishchika Rasi aspect, normally the dates are in tropical dates are October 24th through November 22nd. That's in the tropical base. But over here in the Vedic sidereal community, we go by just that. Now, in sidereal, Scorpio, it's November 17th to around December 16th. All right? So it's around November 17th, to December 16th. So whenever Scorpio natives feel as if they're born around, let's just say Halloween to the eve of Thanksgiving, they will say that they're a Scorpio. So around like late October 24th, sometime around Halloween to November 22nd, which normally falls around Thanksgiving virtually almost every 2 or 3 years, you would think you're a Scorpio, but that's just your sun placement. The actual sidereal placement practiced by the ancient Vedas has always been mid-November-ish to mid-December-ish. That's the true quintessential time of the Vrishchika Rasi. So that's what I'm going to be covering. We got the dates out of the way. Now let's talk about what does it mean when that particular Rasi is placed in a house in your chart, if you know your time of birth, or if that's where your Chandra, Soma, or moon placement is. So we're going to start with the first house. Now, if you are a Scorpio Lagna Rasi, that means Mars or Kuja or Mango is your Lagnesh, or chart ruler. One thing I can say about Scorpio natives in the first house, you tend to come up with a tumultuous upbringing. There was some chaos or some type of extreme impact in your life that has occurred. A lot of Scorpio natives feel as if they're unique, different, or ubiquitous at times. But you're quite more common than you think. You're very stealthy. You could be cold at times because this is the introverted side of Mars, to where you're not more of a commando, you're more of a special ops, Navy SEAL, or sniper. They would never see you coming. And the way you live life, you never let everything out of the bag. You come off as if unassuming. You come off very ambiguous at times because you don't want anybody to know things about you that can leak out. Scorpios are very cunning, very stealthy, especially in the first house. And they always have this dark demeanor to them. A lot of people think they're bad people, but they're not. They just got this alternative effect to them. So if you're a Scorpio ascendant, it's okay to be yourself. And if people don't get you, or your outbursts, your passions, your jealousies, that's just how you exude power. Because that's all you about. Because Scorpio is originally the 8th sign, therefore it has an affinity to the 8th house. So when it comes to other people's money, other people's possessions, joint assets, taxes, scandal, humiliation, power, that's what the Scorpio ascendant's all about. So when you meet them, man or woman, they don't take you for face value. They're always looking at what issues did this individual go through, because I can meet them. I can understand. I get it. You need someone that can match your passions, your jealousies, and your intensity. And that's all there is to it. So when people think you go off the rails, or if you're in a bad relationship, or you misuse something, and you have a certain outburst, it only means that's that scorpionic energy, especially where your natal Mars is placed. So if you are a Scorpio Lagna, just know this, that chaos can always be controlled, because you have to consider the nakshatras that are also encompassed Vrishchika. And those nakshatras are Vishaka, Anuradha, and Jyeshta. Just think about those three. Vrishchika nakshatra is on the verge of the Libra snapping, not getting its way, tired of being unbalanced. So it goes into that scorpionic portion. And they're ready to just cut loose, be themselves. They don't care anymore. Anuradha, which is in the heart of Scorpio, that means I'm willing to be an eternal friend, no matter what, subsequent success, stability in the midst of chaos. And also the Jyeshta, the entitled one, the eldest sibling. I have finally gained power. I am finally in control. And that's what I've always wanted. Own my jealousy, own my passions, own everything. Those are the three aspects of Vrishchika or Scorpio Rasi. Think about Vrishchika, Anuradha, and Jyeshta. They're ruled by Jupiter, Saturn, and Mercury. So also consider those when it comes to knowing your Lagna Nakshatra. Okay, now let's move on to what does it mean to have Scorpio in your second house. And this is for the Libra Rashis. As I just aforementioned, Vishaka is the conduit nakshatra segueing from Libra to Scorpio. So with Librans, they're all about balance, or Tula, as you would say. They grew up in a family household where they saw an imbalance. And Librans are affected by that. So what do you think they're going to want as they grow up? Especially depending on the nakshatra they're born in. If their Mars was to be activated, their Mars Dasha, that energy will increase in the family. They will feel the chaos. They will feel the imbalance. So Libras base their values and their possessions on that, because that's the family environment they grew up in. So Libras, you may appear fair, nice, non-judgmental, but your family, when you go around them, they see everything in you. They're going to call you out of your name, and it's going to make you very uncomfortable with your own family. And they're the only ones that you can counteract with. They're the only ones that you can get chaotic over. They know who you are, and you know them. And you're very abashed to introduce your family members to who you know, because you grew up in that. Mars rules your second house. Wherever house Mars rules, there's war. There's battle. My bride's best friend is a Tula, and she could tell you the same thing. I know a lot of Tulas, as a matter of fact. Their families, there's something. That's all I can say. So, if you are a Tula, Rashi, Lagna, or a Libra, it's okay to admit that there's chaos when it comes to your money, because you try to be nice, you want to give, even though it may put your own account in jeopardy. Because everybody has Scorpio in their charts. Everyone. I don't care who you are. That's why I like this series that I'm doing. So, going on from there, we're going to talk about the Kanya Rashi Lagna, or the Virgo ascendants. Scorpio's in your third house. Here's what this means. Again, depending on if your third house cusp falls in Vishaka, Anuradha, or Jyeshta, that's the impact on your siblings, so your co-borns, your local communities, your efforts, your skills, and your courage. So what does this mean? You have an imbalanced relationship with your brothers and sisters. One day you may be on their good side. 3 days later, you're on your bad side and you don't talk for months. Because the way the Kanya Rashi native is set up, they want to help, serve, fix, and analyze things. When Scorpio is your third house, throw analysis out the door. When it comes to your brothers and sisters, they're going to call you by a moniker or a sobriquet, meaning nickname, that you're not going to like anymore. Especially depending on your birth order. If any planets there, from Moon to Venus to Saturn, it's going to represent how you are towards your siblings. So, there is an imbalance there because it is Scorpio. You're going to have to really find out and be careful how you communicate with your neighbors, how you convey a message, because it could come off as jealousy, obsession, uncanniness, or straight out passion. Because your communications are kind of off. That's why Virgos are trying to perfect these things. But that's one area where it is originally ruled by Mercury and Gemini, to where that Virgo is going to have that obstruction. So when you're talking to your brothers or your sisters, or even if you're a twin, there will be upheavals. Watch what they say around you and you watch what you say to them. Because this is the only area where Virgos are allowed to be chaotic. And your siblings can match that intensity. And that's where you also will gain power. Talk to your siblings. Get along with your neighbors. And embrace the fact that you may have fears, Virgos. Because that's the chaotic zone that you have, is within your third house. You're always fidgety when you try to speak, or you try not to fumble over your words. You're always trying to master your diction. And I don't mean as an addiction, I mean diction, your vocabulary. So keep that in mind, Virgo natives, when it comes to your third house. Watch your courage, watch your neighbors, watch how you convey a message, and understand the relationship that you have with your siblings. It could be up and down, there's no balance. Libra is balanced, but Libra is not in your third house, Scorpio is. So own that about yourself, Virgos. It's okay. That's the chaotic, passionate side of you, your brothers and sisters. Now, what does it mean to have Scorpio in your fourth house? This would be for the Simha Rashis, or the Leo ascendants. Let's just say your parents were out of control. That's why Leo ascendants want to be the king, or for the ladies, the queen. There was a lot of control issues. Therefore, you will grow up wanting control. There was not a creative arena for a Leo to express their talents, because Leo is naturally the fifth house. Excuse me, everyone. There's a squirrel that's trying to eat the bird feed that I put out. I'll be right back. Thank you, everyone. The squirrel did not get the bird feed. So, the way Leos grew up, there was not a creative arena for them because there was chaos. Leos typically grow up in blended families, i.e. stepbrothers or cousins, foster children, stepfather, stepmother, you name it. So how can a Leo express themselves? How can they shine? Because the sun rules your first house. Let me tell you how. That chaos will make you want to gain power and happiness, because this is your fourth house of happiness. So if you were to meet a Leo, man or woman, don't be surprised if they accept your admiration of them easily because they need that. They did not get that from their parents nor in their early education. In fact, a lot of Leo's education level could have been menial in public school. So in order to compensate for that, they participate in a lot of electives, or if they were to go to college. It's very expressive. The parents, mainly the mother, tried to exude dominance over this native. And one thing Leos do not like is that alone. They want subservience. They want obedience and tolerance. So with Mars ruling that fourth house, and Mars does not like being in the fourth house, there was definitely some control issues for Leos. So that's why I don't judge anybody based on their Rasi, because you don't know where they come from nor their upbringing. They probably saw someone got hurt at home, or someone even killed at home, or they saw some type of trauma that occurred to one of their brothers or sisters. Or they may have seen the father physically abusing the mother, or the mother physically abusing the father. Verbally, psychologically, anything. So I understand a Leo's household. It was very cumbersome. And it's okay to admit that. That's why you taken birth as a Leo Lagna. So believe me, I get it. It's okay. Now, with Scorpio going to the fifth house, this is a tricone placement for the Karkata Rashis, or the Cancer ascendants. Cancers are nurturing. Cancers are sweet. They're not pushovers. Do not get a Cancer wrong. They are the mama bear. Even if you're a man, you are the protector. You're the papa bear. Now, with Scorpio being in the fifth house, this is the house of creativity, self-expression, good fortune. All right? Past life, good credit. And with Scorpio being there, you're passionate. And you got that killer instinct about that fifth house of aspects. What does it mean for Mars to rule your fifth house? That means you're willing to go to war over your children. Mars has Ma, M-A in it. What do you think that comes from? It comes from Ma'at, the cosmic mother. Mars has the fourth aspect of protection. Mars has the seventh aspect of attack and the eighth aspect of destruction. So for Karkata natives or Cancer natives, what do you think they're going to do for the sake of their own fifth house, for the sake of their own children, for the sake of their own fortunes? They will guard it at all costs, because that Ma, that maternal instinct, even if you're a man, anything creative or expressive or romantic about you, Cancers will kill for it, because you need that romance or that intimacy to procreate. That's why it's the Trachona placement for a Cancer ascendant. They want to mother. They want to father. They want to have children. They want to see their offspring running around. That gives them purpose for nourishing and protecting. And Cancers get creative with their children. Have you noticed that? And then you could be a young child and a Cancer ascendant. You will try to be the parent of your friends because you see creativity there. And you get chaotic. You get possessive with it and passionate. So again, even with the soft, nurturing, doting Cancers, that's that edgy side to you when it comes to the fifth house. Now, you have Vrishchika in your sixth house. This is for the Geminians or the Mithuna Rashi Lagnas. Whenever I see any Rashi in the sixth house, this is your challenge. This is your obstacle. This is your final boss. Whenever there's a sign in the 6th house for that Lagna, this is where you are the underdog. You better prepare. Because one thing about Geminis, they're smart, witty, clever, and quick on their feet, but you will not fool a Scorpio. Just so you know. This is the one area where Gemini cannot outwit, because Mercury rules your Lagna. And Mercury naturally has an affinity for the 6th house. So you better be clever, Gemini. This is the challenge that you have partaken in his birth. You purposely wanted Vrishchika Rasi to be in your 6th house. Because you can't outrun a sniper. You can't. They got that long range advantage. So when Geminis are doing their day-to-day tasks, they love the chaos. They love things that are discombobulated and out of control. Now, that Virgo aspect is more on the analytical, organized side, but we got Vrishchika here. We got Scorpio. We got chaos. So Geminis get real passionate and crazy about problems. They love it. They love conflict. They love trying to outwit someone. They love trying to cut corners because they can. That Mercury welcomes that, especially to Geminis. If Geminis were to get arrested or go to jail, their mugshots will be smiling. Because they know it's their fault. They know they got themselves in a situation, and watch me swindle my way out of this chaos. Especially if your 6th house cusp falls in Honorata, because it's subsequent success. It's the lotus flower rising out of the murky waters of the swamp, blooming. So best believe me, when it comes to fights, scuffles, Gemini got a smile on their face because deep down inside, they sickeningly enjoy it. Now, you put Scorpio in the 7th house. This is for the Vrishabha Rashis or the Taurus. This is your fall's desire. This is your marriage house. This is your business. This is your equilibrium. All right? This is the polar opposite of you Taurans. You are all about security, solidification, safety, well-being. And you got Scorpio looking right at you, bringing that chaos. So Taurus, be prepared to meet someone that's going to throw you off the rails. They're going to spend your money. They're going to milk you for certain things. But that's what Scorpio energy loves about the Taurus. They want to challenge you and break you and ruffle you. But you won't let them. But Taurans, you gotta loosen up a bit. You need somebody with that Scorpio energy. So, if you look at your 7th house, and your 7th house cusp is, I'll say, Vrishchika, there's something that you have to come to terms with and to know you got to let it go. You got to find out what pisses you off. You got to find out what gets you ruffled. Because it is. Everybody has Scorpio in their chart. Something is going to throw you off. So if you're in business and you're a Taurus native, you hate it when the stock market goes down. You hate it when you don't get your 40 hours. You hate it when there's no overtime this week. You hate it when you missed that grocery store special on Thursday. And Scorpio said, it's okay. That only means if you're not working overtime or if you're not working 40 hours, go do something crazy for yourself. That's what it means. Scorpio just wants you to see that edgy side of you. You don't have to be reserved all of the time. It's okay to have a little chaos in your life. That's what it means. So, don't be so serious, Taurus. You don't have to be structured. You don't always have to be on guard. Sometimes be in attack mode. That's what the Scorpio wants to bring out of you. Now, for the Misha, the Ram, or the Aries ascendants, Scorpio's on your side in the 8th house. It's at home, once again. Kuja, Mars, rules your ascendant and your 8th. Now, this is your Drakon and a Dishtan. Dishtan means bad house. Now, me personally, don't think there's anything bad because your soul chose it. Your 8th house, they call it bad because there's accidents, scandal, humiliation, obstruction, sex, rebirth, transformation, surgeries, infidelity. Yeah, I guess you could say that's bad, huh? Yeah, you could say that's bad, but it's also the house of transformation, major change, sudden events, power, joint assets, taxes, fearlessness. All right? So with Scorpio being at home for an Aries ascendant, they welcome these things of the 8th house. It's like a soldier that's willing to die for their nation. It's like a father that's willing to go down to protect his household. Here's what it means. For you Arians, wherever your Mars is, this is where you welcome danger. You're not afraid of anything that involves death because you're willing to die for other people's values. Because 8th house is other people's possessions, other people's worth, other people's values. For example, I grew up on a cartoon series called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The perfect turtle that represents this aspect is Raphael. He wore the red mask for a reason. He was the badass for a reason. And he would always be the first to go down for his brethren. Always. It doesn't make him the greatest. That makes him the greatest within. Because he knows that's his passion. Scorpio is passion. And passion is something you will die for. So wherever your Mars is located in an Aries chart, that's what you would die for. For example, if your Mars is in the 4th house for an Aries ascendant, you would die for your mother. You would die for anything you hold as happiness. And you would die for your nation because the 4th house is your ancestral homeland. So don't be afraid wherever your 8th house Lord is. It's something that you would die for. You would have surgeries, you would have accidents, diseases, but that's what you're willing to die for. Now, for the Mina Rashi or the Pisces risings, Scorpio's in your 9th house. Again, this is a Trachon placement. Patience. You are something. You're watery. You're kapha. You're non-judgmental. You've been through all of the journeys there are to experience. With Scorpio being in your final or greatest Trachon, this is the house of father, house of teachers, gurus, post-grad education, higher learning, blessings, the keys to your Dharma and your Navamsa, long distance travels. What does this mean? It's almost as if you don't care what blessings or where you go in life. You accept the troubles that come along with it. With the malefic like Mars ruling your 9th house, everything that encamps about this virtuous sign, you would take it at face value. Because Pisces has experienced everything. Because if you look at the nakshatras that are in Pisces, you got Purva Bhadrapada, Uttara Bhadrapada, and Repti. All ruled by Jupiter, Saturn, and Mercury again. So, If it's Purva Bhadra Pada, you're afraid to accept those blessings because it's the front end of the funeral card. It's the ending. So you already know whatever blessings you're getting, I probably don't want them or I don't care for them. If your cusp is in Uttara Bhadra Pada, which are the feet or the footboard of the funeral card, the legs of the funeral card, sorry. Hey, I know where I'm going once I'm gone because I've been on many journeys. I'm willing to accept it. Saturn rules disasterism. So, hey, it is what it is. And if your cusp in the ninth is Revti, be careful if it's at the Gandanta because you will leave this life frustrated or I should have done more or I could have done more. So when it comes to a Pisces ninth house, there's always some frustration or some chaos because your life is actually liberation itself. You just don't give a damn anymore. You're very susceptible to other people's feelings, very empathetic in a way. It's like you're a clairvoyant. You really have that feeling of addictions and spirituality and letting go and the metaphysical realm. So whatever blessings or inheritances or dharma that you receive from that ninth house, you'll take it at face value, but it's not like you're anticipating anything because you are the blessings. All right, 10th house. If you got Vrishchika, Scorpio in your 10th house, this is for the Kumbha Rashis or the Aquarius ascendants. You're very scientific. When it comes to the public eye, Aquarius will get chaotic in your face. You want to know why? Because Aquarians, they just don't care anymore because they're the accomplished ones. They're the 11th house. They're the network circle. So when you meet an Aquarius in public or at work or in the midst of their career, they're going to give you this sleep face or I'm not impressed face. They just don't care because there's nothing you can tell them that they haven't already done to get to where they are. As a matter of fact, with that chaotic presence, people will judge an Aquarius. And if you were to interview an Aquarius, they would say, yeah, I said it. And I meant every word I said, unapologetically. And that's what everybody should like about the Kumbha Rashis, because they're being real. If you put the sign of secrets and scandal out in the public, what else can you have on an Aquarius? It's right there for you to see. Put them in the tabloids. Let the paparazzi snap them. They're going to curse you out. They're going to let you know, I said what I said in that interview and I'm not backing down. Because 10th house is power, authority, and you put Vrishchika there, that's a no-brainer. So if you try to expose an Aquarius, believe me, they're going to double down on it. So you can't embarrass an Aquarius in public. Try it and watch what happens. Because wherever their 10th house Lord Mars is, it could be in the 7th house. It could be in the 11th house or the 12th house. They will let you know, I am not ashamed of what I do, what I've been through, and what I am now. Because Aquarius, they're here to help others get to where they should be. Because they're naturally the humanitarians. And humanitarians have been through enough in this world to know you can't tell me anything about myself that my Saturn, which is my Lagnesh, I have already experienced. I guarantee you. Try to expose an Aquarius. They will expose you too. They're great chess players. You put Scorpio in the 11th house for the Makara Rashis or the Capricorns. Now remember, Capricorns are accomplished. They're successful. And you put Scorpio here. That means they have power within their network circles. Or they gain power with their easy gains. And a Capricorn, they're willing to destroy you if you mess with their assets. Because you put Scorpio in the 11th house, expect chaos from them if you mess that up for them. Because Capricorns worked hard to get where they are. Their 10th house is Tula, Libra. They found balance. They want to look fair in public. But the second house to anything is also the Maraka, or the death of something, or the killer house. So what do you think a Makara Rashi or Capricorn will do to protect the integrity of their accomplishments? They will get dirty. They will get nasty on you, especially when it comes to their elder siblings. If you're a Capricorn and you got a big brother or a big sister, you will fight them and challenge them if they are more successful than you, because Capricorns are all about public image and success. Good politicians, and politicians will protect their self-image in order to get ahead in life. Because every sign has a chaos. Every sign has jealousy. Capricorns get very jealous of a successful elder sibling. I kid you not. That's their driving force to prove big brother or big sister wrong. I did it too. Now, if you are the eldest and you are a Capricorn ascendant, there's nobody that's going to try to take that power from you. Because in your 3rd house is the Pisces sign, your younger siblings. It's all a setup. Because if you think of the 3rd house and it's Pisces, they're not going to want to compete with you. It's Piscean. They're relaxed. They've done everything. They probably partook the reincarnation to be the youngest on purpose. I have nothing to prove. You win. I'm enjoying being the youngest or the middle of the pack. So if you're a Capricorn and you're the oldest, you have nothing to worry about when it comes to your co-borns. So you best believe you're going to always do something chaotic to protect your network circles, your company's assets, your hope, wishes, and dreams coming true. Because that's what the 11th house is about. And we made it to the final journey. And this is for Scorpio in the 12th house. If I haven't skipped anything, what sign did I miss? We covered... Did we cover everything? I think we have. If I haven't missed anything, let me know, audience. Because Scorpio in the 12th house... Let's see. Scorpio in the 12th house, that would be for the Libra ascendants. I think I covered Libra earlier, and I may have mistaken it for the 2nd house. So here's what we're going to do. If Scorpio's in your 12th house, this is for the Libra ascendants, yes. This is for the Libra ascendants. Now, as I aforementioned earlier, Libra, you got some balance. No, Libra, that's your 2nd house. Yeah, that's your 2nd house. Let's see. Libra is Virgo. That's your 12th house. Let me think. I just covered Capricorn. I covered Sagittarius. Oh, yeah. Sagittarius. Thank you. Sagittarius. The Danas Rashis. Danas. Sagittarius. Your 12th house is Vrishchika. Now, a lot of you Sagittarius, you're probably mad at me right now. My apologies. My apologies, Sag. So, you are the loose ones. You're ready to shoot off. You are the original 9th house. What does it say for Sagittarius having Scorpio in their 12th house? Well, Sagittarians, they love to debate, love to travel. There's nothing that can stop you. You are the accomplished ones when it comes to philosophies, higher education. If you have Scorpio in your 12th house, again, this is a chaotic area. When you go to places you've never been, you lose it because Sagittarius is all about travel. Imagine going to a place where you have no control and yet you want it. Imagine getting into a debate with someone that speaks a foreign language, or coming across some currency that you have no knowledge of, because this is the area of the unknown. So think about this for a minute, Sagittarius. You want to gain control of something that's at the very end. You always want to dominate a debate at the end. You always want the last word. You always wanted one up on someone. And you would get obsessively crazy about that if you were to lose in anything. So this is one area to where it's the house of losing. Sagittarius, why can't you just let it go? Sometimes you win by losing. Sometimes you don't always have to be the smartest or the brightest one. You don't always have to be the professor or the teacher or the know-it-all. You don't. Why can't you explore that edgy side of yourself and just go wild for once? The reason why, because you don't see that side of you. Because 12th house is the one area the native cannot see, but others can about you. It's almost as if when you look at a Sagittarius, they don't see the chaos within themselves, but others can. So that's the only thing that I could recommend for the Donov's natives. Continue to shoot for everything. Continue to be out there. But when it comes to the unknown or places you've never been, it's okay not to know about it. Sagittarius wants to prove they know about anything and everything. But that's one area where you don't. So if you were to go to foreign lands, just learn. They will embarrass you, but it's okay. Everybody got that chaotic, wild side to them. So since we went around each and every last Rasi sign, it's best to just accept we all got our hidden jealousies. That's the Scorpio. We all got our hidden passions and desires and needs for power. That's Scorpio. We all go through upheavals and transformation. That's Scorpio. It's everywhere in anyone. So I would like to conclude by saying this is another video exploring and understanding the Rasi series, depending on whatever sign you are. And this is Judge with another video from Judge's Video Perspective. Subscribe and look for another video coming up soon. And as always, be blessed, everyone, and namaste.